Well, I can't wait. I've always loved your sermons, Granddaddy Lazarus.
Thank you, son. Even though you don't listen to them all the time.
Well, listen. I think I'm getting a bit of a different message out of them.
And you're just kind of cracking a smile, chuckling. Man, you bounced back from that tongue lashing real quick, didn't you?
Oh, I think I learned a lot from that. I think everything you say is pretty valuable information, Granddaddy Lazarus.
Alrighty. You're flattering me. And it's working. Come on, let's get you something to eat.
But John just can't stop giggling.
So, you guys walk on down the convention center. The place is fairly empty right now, considering not a lot is going on in the town. It seems like, this more or less gets used when stuff of importance happens. But, some of what clearly were like some old, meeting rooms and stuff have been converted into like bedrooms and things like that. And there is a fairly large dining room adjacent to it where you guys get some hearty food brought out, no.
Biscuits and
Just like a classic country breakfast, some Cornish game hens.
It's a fantasy Cracker Barrel.
I wasn't going to use the term Cracker Barrel.
My fantasies don't involve Cracker Barrel in any way.
They don't?
They
No.
do now.
Mine do.
Jesus.
Cracker Barrel ERP.
Don't do this.
Hey, it's me,
Knocks
Goku.
on door. Hey, it's me, Country Fried Steak.
So, you guys get some good food in you, and nobody else really comes to the dining hall to eat with you.
Mhm.
There are a couple of people like sitting at some tables across, but people are being a little bit wary. Yeah,
Because we do look.
yeah,
pretty
a couple
odd
of random
compared to everyone else
people who
here.
are like eating there. It looks like a family do kind of get some food, take it away. And John, what you would know is that anybody can come over here and just get something to eat, right?
Kind of like a community kitchen.
Yeah, basically exactly like a community kitchen. So, that family's probably something that they grew didn't turn out too well, and so now they're relying on some community help, right? So, do you have anything in particular that you want to do before just tucking in for the night?
Sure. Pat, and I understand trying to be safe out there, but it's pretty safe here inside the congregation, inside these walls. You can probably pop that mask off if you want to.
You make a good point, but
Well,
I think I'm going to keep it on for now.
Go back to eating copious amounts of chicken.
Lots of chicken.
That makes me nervous.
I get it.
That's funny.
I missed it. Are there hush puppies?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good.
You just gotta make
That's all
sure.
you wanted
Okay?
to
It's
ask.
important for
That's an
John's
important thing.
life.
That's
It is.
important.
Puppies.
I want to keep the mask on because there's enough mana here, but there can always be. I feel more comfortable with this on so far out here.
Oh,
That's
all
all.
right then.
Alrighty. So, you guys tuck in for the night unless there's anything else pressing that you want to do.
Yeah, nothing really.
Alright. Yeah, the beds are pretty Spartan, but, nice. There's no frills about it. It's just a community little barracks, basically. But it's not like they're bad.
Right.
It's just a comfy
Yeah.
bed on a bed frame with a pillow and a blanket. That's it. There you go.
In the morning, you guys do hear a knock on the door. At around, 7:38.
Okay, so I open it.
All right, I'll go ahead and answer.
So you open the door and you see the door frame isn't very wide. You see the chest of what looks to be a large minotaur.
So I have to look up.
Good morning. Lazarus told me to come wake you guys up. Is John in there?
Yeah, I'm right over here.
Hey, John.
How's it
You
going?
recognize him. It's Barash.
It's Barash.
Yeah.
Howdy, Barash.
One of the few people that's going by an original racial name, right?
Hmm.
He just likes it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's going just great. Wasn't expecting to see you back so soon, though.
I wasn't expecting to come back so soon.
Well, anyway, Lazarus said he wanted to come show you around the place a little bit and, well, make up on lost time.
Well, let's get going.
Is he inviting everybody to go along with him, or just John?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm
said
inviting
you
everybody.
guys.
All right. I mean, I guess if it gives me a chance to like look around, I guess we're gonna walk all the way around. It'll give me a chance to like peek out the readings around here.
And since we're like putting the what's happened between Lazarus and Red on the back burner, I'm gonna go full on national nature documentary mode.
You should go all Vice documentary and go the real. We traveled to the congregation and did, I don't know, drank tea and ate hush puppies with really nice people, and it wasn't exciting at all.
Right.
Well, it's more I need to get some footage for your nature documentary.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So, you guys
I-
walk out. In the main meeting hall, you see Lazarus again. He's actually in a... before he was just in his, shirt and suspenders. Now he's in like a nice jacket, right? Like, imagine like one of those, for any of your viewers, if you've ever seen like one of those guys preaching in a, like one of those southern mega churches, the like suit jacket thing that they got going on with that.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a white dress undershirt with no tie. And the jacket sleeves aren't quite big enough. He's got a big old smile. Well, howdy there, boys. Sleep well?
All right. Yes. Quite well, actually. Thank you.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Hey, good morning.
Anyway, we got some time before the sermon tonight. Anything in particular that you wanted to do around here? I know, Elias, you were saying something about looking around at the nature and all that.
Yes, actually. I was wondering, you wouldn't have to have logbooks or records of animal sightings or plant growth over the years, anything
Animal
like that?
science, plant growth.
Oh, wait,
Let me think.
Dan, do they have like any sort of laboratory-like thing, or like anything vaguely science-like?
Actually, yes. So, what he's going to say and what you would actually probably recommend. So, right on over north by the not quite the outskirts of town, just across the river there. I set up in remains of an old baseball diamond. Esau's got his old little garden/lab set up if you want to go talk to him.
I believe you said his name was Esau? Esau?
Esau.
Yes, you mentioned a laboratory. That's quite interesting. Didn't exactly take you folks for the laboratory type.
Well, looks can be a bit deceiving. Anyway, it's less probably what you're thinking of and more of, well, when you got folk like me and folk like you running around, you're gonna need a lot more of that mana to operate, right?
Yes, that's a sort of standard principle.
So, in order to accommodate for our brothers and sisters who need a little bit more juice to kick around, you gotta make sure that you got enough for everybody.
Seems reasonable.
So, Esau's our local gardener. I tend to the flock, he tends to the garden.
Yes, seems quite interesting. I'll have to exchange notes with him.
Certainly.
Yeah, I think you were saying something about man on the way over here, right?
Yeah, it does seem interesting. The mana levels here are rather odd, comparatively
And where's
speaking.
Manway right now?
Manway?
Is he with us?
He's with you guys. He's still kind of dumbstruck.
Right. Hey, you guys love this. Come on.
So, well, if you'd like to go on and do that, y'all can go on and do that. For me, I'd like to have a little bit of a chat with my grandson here. If you don't
I'll
mind.
definitely start moving off north.
Yeah, Elias and I are definitely going to go to the
And,
lab.
well, Jiron, do you mind
We'll bring Jerry along.
a little bit,
I don't mind
Going
at
on
all.
with them. please?
I gotta keep track of all their movements, see what all happens. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Alright, so, you guys split off. Basically, what's just gonna happen is, for John, you're gonna spend a nice day talking with your grandpa. He's gonna kind of grill you a little bit about going off and spreading justice and everything. He's basically gonna give you a bit of a lecture.
Again.
Again.
Granddad Lazarus, I didn't have a choice then. They were shooting at me. They were good people.
He's just, like, he's just gonna go off a little bit, just the biggest one that you've heard over and over and over again. Yeah, he's gonna Ephesians 6:12 you a lot. For those of our listeners who don't know that one, look it up, you uncultured fucks.
I like, see, once you stop playing the nice old orc man, you have to double up on the dick of a DM. Can Lazarus be the DM? I like him better.
No. So, you guys walk across the bridge over there, and the first thing that Elias notices is there are just trees and shit out the ass and the walls have kind of been taken down on what used to be this baseball diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see rows and rows of plants, some that make food, a lot that make mana,
Interesting.
and in the middle, like kind of wandering around those the grove here, you see a fairly old dwarf man actually on stilts right now pruning a tree.
What is pruning?
Yeah, it's you cut off older growth and cut leaves away to make room for things to grow in the way you want it to. A lot of times you cut off trees that have too many buds on them, and this is all in character to Patton, by the way.
Oh,
A lot
jeez.
of times you cut off trees that have too many buds on them to sort of encourage fruiting buds in certain places over other ones. So if there's too many buds on a tree, then there's it won't have enough nutrients to fruit every bud, and you won't get any fruit as opposed
So,
to...
right around now, the dwarf is going to start walking towards you, still on the stilts.
On the
Well, hey there!
as tall as I... Oh,
About as tall.
Okay.
Well, hey there! You must be the folk that came in with John, right?
Yes, that's correct.
He's wearing if you imagined just a farmer wearing the denim overalls and the straw hat and the white shirt underneath it, he's got that look down.
Oh, jeez.
He doesn't have a beard, but his face looks like he could really use one. Weak chin.
So he's full leafy.
Oh, God.
Topical.
Anyway. Yeah, the fence and walls and stuff around the baseball diamond have been kind of taken down. Yeah, it's a pretty open concept. So,
yes. Nice to meet you, sir. I am a Dr. Elias Adelhelm.
oh, a doctor.
Yes.
That's impressive.
I'm Dr. Pat Normstrom.
2 doctors. Wow.
I
And I'm Jaron. You can call me Jerry.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You can call me Esau.
Yes, it's, I believe Lazarus told us a bit about you. I understand.
Oh, did he now?
Yes, I understand that you have some sort of laboratory equipment. You wouldn't happen to have records of plant growth around here. I see that you're tending to this.
Records? I got records.
Oh yes. If it wouldn't be too much trouble, I'd love to take a look at them. I've got some field notes that might be of interest to you.
Oh, field notes? Oh, well, we could swap notes. I could always find something useful to help people around here with.
yeah, I'm sure that we can come to sort of a mutually
Well,
beneficial arrangement.
well, if you're looking for Mr. Patton, was it right?
Yes.
Judging by the look on you, you're probably looking for something more along the lines of technology and all that, right?
Yes. I'm interested in what you've done, because these plants look a little healthier, more fuller than any of the other naturally grown ones that I've seen. I'm interested in what techniques, what.
Oh, ain't nothing special. Just some water, sunshine, a lot of love.
Really? You don't have any other third-party influence?
None that I know of. Well, other than one, maybe.
That's interesting. It seems that the mana fields around here are quite strong, comparatively speaking, for the level of vegetation that's present. I'd love to see if you've got topographical maps of the levels of mana influence of the area.
Oh, well, we don't have no need of that, really. We just make sure it's strong enough for everybody around here. But, well, mostly it's just kept in place by, well, I'd assume if you're here you would know.
Feel free to enlighten me at any point.
Huh. Oh, Lazarus didn't get to you then. And he's kind of dropping in and out of this put-on accent whenever he talks about Lazarus. Well, as Lazarus would say, it's the blessing of the Most High that we have what we got.
Well, I am rather vaguely familiar. Some sort of deity, I believe.
Well, not just some kind, the.
Well, I suppose I haven't really done much research on it. It's, well, the deities aren't that odd, though I suppose it is odd that their presence isn't more felt. It's a interesting conundrum of the rock that we don't really see the traditional pantheon's influence here. Though I suppose there could be some sort of leftover remnant from previous civilizations.
He's kind of looking at you. So about those notes.
Yes, well, yeah.
Here, come on inside. Unfortunately, Patton, I don't have much for you. But anything that strikes your fancy, you can take a look at.
I'll follow.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look around at all these plants, see, what, because these are much fuller than anything I've seen. And, I've cultivated some of my own plants in the past to, for the mask and all that. And I've never been able to get them, this strong. They're giving off a strong signature.
Yes.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if there's, mana, directly influencing their fullness? Or if it's just something else?
Sure, but okay.
Because it's definitely. What I'm leaning to right now is, this.
Yeah, just go for the roll. Go for the roll. But
I'll do it.
You say delusion.
I got 19 on Arcana.
yeah, you're not entirely sure.
Damn. That's
I'm
interesting to me.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll on Arcana.
Sure.
I got a 10 on it, so let's.
I already rolled a nat 20 on these plants, so.
Oh, yeah, I got a 25.
Yeah, so they look like normal. It doesn't look like they just look like they're being grown better. You're in a very pure environment where the mana isn't seeping out. Really, like this feels like something that you would be able to do in New York, maybe, but you're really far out. So you go in, right? The actual building attached there has been kind of converted into a the stands and everything have been converted into a little bit of a lab and all of that as it wraps around. He shows you around. He takes off the stilts eventually, so he just opens his arms and just goes, "Take a look at whatever you like." Got some records over here about harvests and everything, just to make sure that we're hitting productions.
Is he doing the accent at all times, or sometimes he's not?
Yeah. He's kind of dipping in and out.
Okay, so it's obviously not a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least for him.
Well, if you have, I suppose, harvest records would be handy. You wouldn't have to have abnormal occurrence records, would you?
Can't say I do. But anyway, just feel free to take a look at this. I need to go back out to the plants right now.
All right.
I was kind of in the middle of that.
I'm gonna look around. All right, so are these like individual? Is there like a what's the word I'm looking for here? Are these just like individual different tools? Is there like is this basically like, is this a really nice setup? Like, does it?
This is a pretty nice setup.
Shit?
Yeah.
Does it have old world shit?
Yes.
Basically, is there a VR jack here? Like, is it
No.
that advanced? Is there crazy shit going on?
No. It's pretty much all physical here. Like, this is all just, pen and paper, writing shit down.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if they had like really like rebuilt some old shit.
Not really. At least not for here.
Okay.
So, basically, you guys spend a lot of time poring over these notes, and the gist of what you can find in, the like half a day that you got to look at it and all that
Mm-hmm.
is things grow very well here. And they aren't really so much focusing on the why of how things are working, but more focusing on what it's for, right?
Okay.
They're just, like, when you look at individual crop records or things like that, it's just, like, this is X amount more than we needed, so we had extra stores. Or, like, we were able to give X amount of this away to people who were coming by and needed it, Like, we should, do more of that. But as far as specifics of, like, in-depth analysis as to why any of this stuff has been working here, not really.
Okay, so there's nothing really.
You can get a lot of raw data that you could extrapolate stuff from with some further research, but on the spot, not really.
But, I mean, that would require me making copies of this stuff, right?
Yeah, which is going to take time.
Okay. I mean, I guess I can. I guess I'll start just summing up what I can.
Yeah. So, you guys start doing that. Is there anything else that you would like to do before, Lazarus and John come back and join you guys?
Besides just like pouring over like their techniques for like the plants, just how they're watering, sunlight, as they're going through documenting how their plants are growing and all that.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
So, it's getting late, right? As you guys are copying things down.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's getting to be about midday evening. You get some food over here from Esau and everything as shit goes by. And then you do hear a horn honk from in front of the stadium.
Well, I suppose that's that would be Lazarus and John calling us back.
Oh, it's already getting to be that time then.
Well, yes, I imagine.
Tell Lazarus that I won't be able to make it for tonight. Got a little something that I promised I would do for him, but running a little bit late on time for it.
Yes, I'll be sure to.
A little bit busy. Really sorry though.
It shouldn't be a problem.
Alright, well, take care now. Really hope those notes are useful for you.
They should be more than sufficient, I believe. Though, in the future, it would be, it might behoove you to take more detailed readings regarding the function, rather than the output of your magical plants here.
Well, we don't really concern ourselves that much with that. As long as everybody's getting fed and happy, we're pretty much happy with that.
Yes, well, just some food for thought.
I get it.
I'd like to point
Have
out
a nice
that
one.
Elias most certainly did not actually mean that as a pun.
So, the horn, bang, bang, bang.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start heading back out.
Yeah. So, out in front on the side of the street, you see Menway is at the wheel. Right? John and Lazarus are in the back seat there. Menway gets out of the car, runs over to Elias,
Yes.
just grabs him by both shoulders. This place is amazing.
Well, it's certainly interesting in several regards, though amazing seems to be a bit of a stretch.
So, Lazarus said to come pick you guys up, but I'm gonna stay back here and look into whatever that is. And all of their different. Oh, you guys already researched this a little bit, but you're probably looking for like the, the biology of it, not for the cultural significance, aren't you?
I'm not sure exactly what it you're referring to is, though the output levels of the plants around here seem to be a little higher than normal.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and go and research that. You guys have fun.
Yes, well, I suppose we shall see you after this sermon or whatever it is.
Yep. So you guys get into the car. Patton's the only one who can. Patton and John can both drive. Who's driving? Doesn't really matter.
John's driving.
I'll let John drive.
Okay. So you guys.
John's first trip by himself.
Yeah. And just so you know, this goes exactly as you would imagine, where Lazarus is backseat driving you really hard. Like, just slow down there. Right, no rush. Right? That sort of thing. So, you guys come back across the bridge, and just a couple of blocks south of the convention center, you head into he instructs you to park in this parking lot, and there is a large cathedral.
Ooh.
And he just steps out. I told everybody who wanted to come by here instead of the usual place. It's a little bit nicer. Don't like to use it except for a couple special occasions. Come on in.
Guess we'll follow him in.
So, this is a large, high-spired cathedral. It is immaculate. Like,
Ooh.
it has been... It looks like it never had anything happen to it.
That's interesting.
This thing is pristine.
Does it look like they repaired it, or just that nothing ever happened to it?
It looks like nothing ever happened to it. But whether that's because they repaired it, or whatever, you're not entirely sure. So, you'll walk on in, through the big old ornate double doors with some carvings, some reliefs of Jesus and shit on them. Yeah.
Jesus and shit.
It's got a lot of stuff. So, you got the classic stained glass windows, high towers. You walk in and there are just a load of people lined up in the pews.
Well, all right then.
In the front seats, the very front are vacant, and as you're walking down, Lazarus kind of motions for you guys to sit there.
Oh no, he's gonna make us sit in the front.
Yeah.
That means I can't doze off.
You're hearing a lot of whispers and stuff like. Yeah, people are like. It doesn't look like they're like judging you or anything. They're just kind of curious.
Right.
So,
Motley Crew.
Lazarus walks up to the front, stands in front of the altar.
The pew.
The pew, yes.
Yeah.
There's a very nice floral arrangement behind him, and a large series of stained glass windows behind him. He stands up there, puts his hands on the pew, pulls out a small glass of water that somebody put up there for him, takes a sip, and starts talking, and his voice echoes through here. Loud. Brothers and sisters, as you know, I'm doing my best impression of the Father from the story of the prodigal son, because, well, my grandson and your brother, John, finally managed to come back for a visit. Everybody kind of looks over at you. A couple of people are chuckling, but most people just kind of are nodding.
Is this the kind of church where people yell stuff, or is this the kind of church where people are quiet?
There's a little bit of chatter, but not
okay.
It's not like he's being super formal about anything.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, as y'all may have remembered, our former compatriot Michael, well, him and me had a little bit of a disagreement, and you hear a little bit of laughter. You see, he said he was gonna go on off, haul off, and in the name of the Lord, slay the mighty dragon. And you hear some gasps from some children in attendance. And Lazarus kind of smiles to himself. Of course, talking about Red. Now, these boys are esteemed guests, come all the way from New York to come visit. You see, they want to find Michael, just like we want to find Michael. Now, their methods ain't exactly what I would recommend. I'm sure any of you who listened would have heard. However, trying to prevent more hurt, more bloodshed is always a good thing. You see, like I've been telling John here, I think the answer always is to leave it up to the one man who should be deciding them things, who lives and who dies and all that. But they're pretty damn determined to see him, well, damned. See a couple of chuckles. But before they go off and do that, before y'all go off and join them maybe, before y'all get riled up into a fervor, start hunting down a man that you once called your brother, thought you might like to hear a little something. And I hadn't told this story in a while. I don't like telling the story that much, but it should be nice for all of you, especially those of you in the front here. See, from what I heard, and y'all can feel free to correct me, they's kind of working with Red to find him. And that's all well and good, but I think they'd appreciate hearing my side of the story. Now, y'all heard that over there in New York, they think what done happened was we just waltzed on through the portal and all the old humans just fell flat. They just couldn't handle it. They just died. That ain't what happened. Sure, it killed some of them, but not all of them. We came through that portal. Back then, I was a young man with wild fire in my eyes, just looking for somebody to vent some hatred out on. Red gave me the opportunity to vent that hatred. We came through and I just seen bodies upon bodies falling dead where they stand. But that wasn't enough. No, we had to have this world. And so, me and some of the other boys, part of the old war bands that some of us still keep our names from, went around exploring this new world and killing anybody who was still alive. And that's what we did for years. While people were over there in New York perfectly content thinking that there ain't nothing such as humanity left alive around here. While they were out doing that, I was out making sure there weren't nothing such as humanity left. And it was right around here. Right here near Little Rock. Right out near a farmhouse. I was dressed to the nines in my war band armor. It was covered in blood. Whole place stank of it. Blood, well, it's got a particular smell. If you ain't never drawn blood in anger, you don't really know it. It smells like death. I used to love it. Truly I did. It was like wine. You drink it up and you get drunk off of it. You get addicted. So I'm out there carrying my axe, yelling out into the night, calling for anybody who was still alive to come get cut down. And out of the corner of my eyes, I saw a light in a small farmhouse. So I walk over, I hear some whimpering and crying. I hear a young girl's mother tell her to be quiet and everything be fine. It wasn't fine. I waited. I let it stew with a big old goofy grin on my face. Right when she said, "Look, honey, I think he's gone," door breaks in half, and in I step. 8 feet are the worst day of their lives. I'm smiling, kids screaming. Her mom ain't saying a thing. So, that don't make me happy at all. I yell at her. I yell at her to beg. Scream out, maybe I might just save that little whelp. Maybe I might just not kill it. I was always gonna kill it. But she doesn't. She don't. And that pissed me off. Made me raw something fierce. So I walk up to her. I grab her. Yell at her, "What the fuck do you think you doing? Huh?" And all she was saying, over and over, looking me right in the eyes, was, "Forgive him, Father. He don't know what he do." And that, she wasn't even scared of me. She had a look of fear in her eyes, but she wasn't showing it. All she was doing was begging somebody to forgive me. I brought my axe down once, took her head clean off, and at that you hear some gasps from the audience, like some young kids who haven't heard the story. Then I walk over to the little one. I brought the axe down again. Now, to this day, there's one thing that makes me question if I got it right. If I know what's really up here. If I know what God wants me to do. And that question is, why didn't he stop me? Here she was. She ain't do nothing wrong. Why didn't he stop me? Why did he let me go through with it? Why did he let her die? And I don't know why. And if by some miracle I make it up to heaven, somehow he forgives my sins, I'm going to spend eternity at her feet asking for forgiveness. So, after I done it, I look up, see a small book. Now, Michael would tell you it was just chance or whatever, but I know it was there for a reason. It was open. Small silver rosaries circling the passage. Who hath delivered us from the power of darkness, and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven, that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be in thrones, or dominions, principalities and powers. All things were created by him and for him. By this point, the boys had already lit a fire. It was spreading. They were wondering why I wasn't coming out. All I could do was sit there, tears streaming down my face, thinking, "Oh God, what have I done? What have I been doing?" Nobody deserved what I'd done to them. Nobody deserved having me in their life. And yet here, this one book was telling me it was alright. As I read more, they said even somebody like me could be forgiven. The last thing I found in that house before I gave him a right proper burial was a little book. The song. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. And you hear the door open slightly, and you hear, "'Twas grace that brought my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed." And they say it in unison, and tears streaming down his face. Lazarus looks up, and everybody looks back, and you see Michael standing right there, alone. And he walks down the aisle, right? As he's walking, just, "Now, Lazarus, I see a little bit of a flaw in your story there. Truly touching, I say, but I see a little bit of a flaw. You see, by the time that your unfortunate mother rolled around, anybody who had abdicated to the Almighty as righteous already been saved. You're asking why He didn't stop you? He sent you." I'm sorry, it's been a while, hasn't it? Well, I don't want to overstay my welcome. Y'all can get back to what you're doing. But, just thought I'd take a look at the faces of those 4 men who were trying to stop me. Well, now, I believe it's time for me to get going, actually. I can sense the hostility in the room. Y'all don't want me here. I understand.
Hey, Michael.
Yes?
Well, sounds like Lazarus still has a lot to say. Why don't you take a seat next to me?
I think I'll have to decline. Unfortunately, I already got a seat coming for me. And then you start to hear a low singing, and he starts to mouth the words, "Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home." And then through the wall of the building, you see the van that he was in at the Tenali ethereally swoop through the building, passing through everybody, collide with him. He just falls back into it, and it drives through the other side of the building.
What the hell?
Just phases right through.
Well, all right then.
Suppose he's on his way then?
At this point, Lazarus is still just sobbing softly in front of the pew. Like, he is a wreck.
I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna go up to Lazarus, put my arm around him, and I'm gonna remind him, my granddad Lazarus, surely there is not a righteous man on earth who does good and never sins.
I know, boy. I know. Glad to have you back.
I think we should cut here at the end.
Yes!
Yes.
That's good.
Jesus Christ.
That's good. I like
So
that.
you guys have been sitting on that since day one.
Yeah!
Nice.
That was good.
Very
Good
well
job. Yeah, so that was episode 13 of Revival, a Dungeons & Dragons Real Play podcast. You can check us out on YouTube with my other podcast, Let Me Tell You About. You can find us on Twitter at Let Me Tell You PD. You can find the podcast here on iTunes, Google Play. You can also find us hanging out in the Discord, where everyone's always hanging out, getting up to all sorts of shenanigans. It's getting pretty popular. We also have a Patreon, which you can check out. We set that up, and all the money is going directly into audio equipment, which wish you would have had that set up by the time Dan did the speech here, but oh well. Either way, we will see you guys next week with more D&D.